deep learning, element of it. There is a consortium that is formed called OpenAI, where Microsoft, Google, IBM, Amazon, and again Elon Musk is chairing this. He's the founder of this particular foundation, and there's a lot of talk around how can we limit deep learning and how can we restrict deep learning. Again, major military and defense R&Ds of different countries are also trying to explore this. Earlier we had drones, which are primarily directed by somebody out in the in the war room to be able to go attack a particular target. But now with the self-thinking machines, you can literally you can deploy a drone that is self-thinking, and that will be able to bomb a target, within a given parameter. So how do we restrict that, and how do we manage this whole, deep learning to go out of control? So that's a huge topic. Again, we'll not get into a whole lot of, details around that. But deep learning definitely is getting, more and more into customer service, into into transportation, into manufacturing. When you have robots, that have to execute certain mechanisms in the manufacturing floor or the production floor, for example. A lot of research is going on the deep learning side of the business. Cognitive decision making. This is about again putting all of these different techniques into creating business applications that are self-thinking. I'll give you an example. Here at Image and Solix, what we're doing is we have applications that are in the finance department. For example, in the order to cash, once I have an invoice from the customer, and in the normal scenario, if I have the invoice from the customer, I send it out to my shared services. I have 100 people around the world taking thousands of these invoices, calling my customers and asking them when are they going to pay. Now with the self-thinking and decision-making systems, the system is able to track what is the behavior of the customer. Is this customer going to pay tomorrow, or is this customer going to delay, or is this customer going to dispute? Based on that, either the system knows exactly what letter to send to the customer, or what call to make to that customer, or to escalate it to a customer service representative. So these are the examples of like a cognitive decision making. And today a lot of companies, again I'm hearing about Infosys, and from Wipro to a lot of companies are coming up with self-thinking cognitive machines that encompass a business process and can cater specific business models around a particular process. So these are also, I think, great retooling mechanisms for the IT folks. The next one is virtual assistants and chatbots. They are getting into the enterprise in a very rapid order. Fast forward from now, 5 years from now, Gartner is expecting that there will probably be more bots in the workforce than human beings. So we need to learn to coexist with virtual agents, virtual assistants, and chatbots. And they are going to bring tremendous efficiencies to the enterprise. A lot of customer service, for example, insurance industry is already deploying chatbots right onto the customer service side of the business. Banks, for example, are already looking at having bots that can talk to you in natural language, that can understand your request, process that particular request, and give you the right set of information. And more, these chatbots and these virtual agents are going to be personified into very specific roles where they are able to have that skills that mimic a human being. For example, a digital assistant for a CFO, to be able to have exactly the knowledge of finance, and to be able to respond with a question like what was the billing last month, to be able to understand that question, go to some system, gather that information, and to be able to respond, here is what the billing information is. Or, if you ask a question like, hey, I want to do a license verification, for a particular customer, to be able to understand that for license verification, I have to go to a license query system of a particular state, pull up that particular one, and respond back, yes, this is a valid ID or not. So these are the kind of skills and tasks the virtual agents will be able to do in the future. And there are many companies these days that are looking for augmenting the workforce with chatbots and virtual agents. We are seeing a big proliferation around that. And again, within our company also, we've made some huge investments, and we are releasing some some very innovative solutions around the virtual agents that can take very specific roles. So this is again a huge topic of innovation. Lastly, AI optimization at a hardware level. So far we have talked about some software systems, algorithms, and again, companies, mostly the software companies supporting that. But more and more, you see hardware companies, for example, we just saw NVIDIA. Intel is working big time on taking AI right at a chip level. We are also looking at companies like HP and Dell, and again several other companies. A lot of again chip manufacturing companies that are servicing both the servers as well as desktop, as well as the PDA devices, are all looking at how do they put AI right into the chip level. So to give you a lot more power to build applications. So instead of focusing on worrying about which algorithm am I using, now I can simply use these AI optimized hardware and some of these packages right on the top, and just focus on applications and getting AI into the enterprise. And I know recently NVIDIA also announced something called AI for home. It's a small box, you can put it at home. So, whenever you're using your Google Assistant or your Alexa, anyhow, they're gathering all of that information from you as you're conversing. But it now keeps track of everything that you want, from your queries or for your emails. It tracks your emails, and it tracks, all of your mechanisms, and to be able to, again, help you, hey, do you want to, order some, paper towels, or do you want to order some, whatever, food items, etc., to be able to proactively assist you in many, many ways. So again, hardware level optimization of AI is a big topic, and we are going to see more and more of that in the future. And again, from a direction in terms of where we are all heading, these are going to be a lot more prevalent as we move towards. So with that, those are my 10 segments, or 10 top technology trends in AI, and how they're going to impact the enterprises. And my last concluding remarks is, I think this is a technology that is to stay, and that is going to be impacting every business and every technology professional in some shape or form. And I think it's really important to be able to understand, what are all the, innovations that are going on, and how, you can retool yourself. And most enterprises, as Gartner and Forrester are already saying, most enterprises, will be a combination of man and machine. And that's inevitable, and that's the direction. So hopefully, we all, look at what's happening out there, and be more creative in ways that we can create more solutions, and offer more innovations in artificial intelligence, rather than artificial intelligence coming and taking up our own jobs. So let's be on top of the technology. Thank you so much. Any questions?
Hi. Regarding a company as such, I come from an engineering company, and all we do is engineering and design and offer services for engineering company. So for a company like us, what do you think we should do in terms of adapting AI? Should we actually contract a vendor and then ask him to do the AI or data science for us, or do we have to develop that kind of resourcing in-house? I mean, what is your suggestions for enterprises on how should they approach having AI capability in an enterprise?
So again, I think depending on the size of the company, your approach may be different. And normally, very large companies are going towards bringing in some sort of a consultant or a consulting company, to be able to find out the direction as well as get some knowledge on what to do, which technology should they adopt, or which problem should they attack first, and what kind of technology do they need to put in place. For a company in engineering services, where you have a lot of unstructured data, you have probably a lot of engineering designs, and you need some kind of an interpretation of that in engineering designs to actually create more opportunities out of that, right? So for those kind of mechanisms, obviously, I think getting more into some of the computer vision, as well as I think a lot of the image processing, text processing, and to be able to do text mining out of that and create opportunities out of that would be a logical step. But again, the advice would be talk to an expert and bring in an advisor into the system, and and start with that to grow your internal teams accordingly.
Hi, this is Hari Kumar.